Okay, with this video, it's about highly melanated people, so-called black people, so-called African American people around the world that have bumped their heads and forgotten who they are and what they are, and they're actual giants. So, all right, let me get into a little. Let's get into a little bit of science so we can be caught up on where we all come from. So we all know, if you looking for information, nothing that should gross you out should stop you from getting information. Nothing can stop you if it's like disgusting or gross or whatever. Get through it. You make yourself that much more stronger so that the bullshit, when you see it next time, it won't affect you to the point where it'll slow you down from getting to the information. Okay, we all know that as male and female, when a male ejaculates in the middle of having sex, that comes from the mind, not from the nutsack or the balls. It doesn't come from there. It has a clear fluid that comes from the balls that protects um, the brain fluid or the mind fluid that comes. Well, actually, we can go with the brain. The brain is the brain fluid actually that comes from the brain and goes down the spine. That's why you always say the mama or whatever or the auntie, you act just like your daddy or your mama. You look just like your daddy or your mama because you're taking pieces. This is alchemy, alchemical process to put two different uh, beings in a physical body together in order to make something um, unseen. And sometimes the women, they can say, "I've seen this child, how this child would look and act before they even came out of me or this womb." And and I've heard that not just once. I heard it more than once. So, and so we are only thoughts or thoughts, gnosis, or memory, or physical fluid that comes from the mind, goes down the spine, goes down the spine. The spine is connected to the penis, and it goes through the penis through the ball sack. When it goes to the ball sack, it's almost like pulling through the tape at the finish line. You see how the tape stretches and it bursts. It's almost like when you're able to um, not not release the fluid from your mind. You're only getting clear fluid because you actually held that ghost or that deity inside your mind. Okay, so that's just another version of yourself. So when you burst through the ball nutsack, and that clear fluid protects the actual fluid that comes from the mind in order for it can make it to through the woman when you're inside the woman, and like when the woman's like, "Oh, you just came inside me." He said, most women be like, "I'm pregnant." They already know it. They know the feeling, whatever. So it'd be like when you're going through the woman, that fluid, that clear fluid, protects the child going through the body because there's a lot of passageways to get through. It's like millions of sperm going through, but that clear fluid is protecting. So when you do come and you practice by yourself, I probably will make a video that sometime down the line on how to retain your sperm or to keep. So when you do come or you do lose sperm, you're actually killing yourself unknowingly because the feeling of you ejaculating fluid or sperm is actually killing yourself. You don't even know it. But we're supposed to be retaining, and that's why we're not supposed to be having children. That's we're not supposed to be having children at all. So you're supposed to be retaining the fluid from your mind. So I think one day I'll do a video teaching on how to retain the fluid. This way we're actually getting to our higher selves. And that's gonna be dangerous. Motherfuckers don't like that. You know what I'm saying? When women find out you're doing that, I mean, it's good for them because you can go as long and strong with them as possible because our penis becomes a clitoris. And when I know that sounds what? Because no fluid is coming out. It's like it's a tool, but no fluid comes out. Only the pee, of course, the urinate, but no, because ours goes out and woman stays in. So when they pee, it comes out, ours comes out, but our penis is a Y chromosome because it goes out, and women have the melanated woman has two X chromosomes because their two penises are on the inside. So the clitoris is a penis, it's just a penis on the inside. Ours is elongated that comes out. So back up to speed. So you got to think about it. All right, I said all of that to say this. So when children are born, it's like they come, they're in darkness until they see the light. Okay, and so when we have the baby, we turn into babies again. We forget everything we learned in our last lives. A lot of people don't believe in coming back. So this is not for them. Then that's okay. That's not. Hey, I'm not here to force anything on you. Reincarnation. You only reincarnated in order to get something right you haven't done on this third dimension or this earth or this plane, whatever. So when you come back, you don't remember you coming back. That's the trick. You're supposed to figure everything out around you in order to get yourself up to speed, so you won't have to come back to this motherfucker. You have to finish out something you didn't finish out in a partial or past time. Okay, all right. So when you come back, you get the baby brain. You drooling and all of that, and can't contain your shit. Same thing when you get old, you're going reverting back. So that's the thing. In between time is to learn as much as you possibly can while you're here. That means you're on your actual path or journey. So from there, okay. So we've bumped our heads in these. We're melanated people, so-called black people, so-called African American people, melanated people, all highly melanated people all around the world. Um, we've fallen into these bodies. There we go. We've fallen into these bodies. Just like the you call it the fallen ones. They say in the olden those old books or those mythology, the fallen ones. So same. They say it's like the same story as Jesus and Satan. They both have the same story. You never supposed to curse Satan because he's always trying to rise, just like we trying to rise, just like so-called Jesus is trying to rise. All have the same story, but why differentiate them? And you just pulling yourself apart. Your higher self is your head. Your lower self is your lower extremities. They say don't think with your dick, think with your head. You're supposed to think with both. Actually, you're supposed to be balanced. You know what I'm saying? So be balanced with your heart. That's the black hole. So when you balance yourself, you're able to use both sides and still come out on top, or however you look at it, or on bottom. It don't matter, but you stay balanced to keep it moving. Okay. So with that being said, I'm gonna give an example. I'm glad I got all that said in the good time frame. So with that being put to the forefront, what I'm gonna do is give you a physical example of what I'm saying. And so with that what that accumulates to, and how they can put things in movies or cartoons or whatever it may be, video games, commercials, anything with symbolism. Symbolism is up to you to get it. When you understand and get it, that means you're getting closer to something that you're supposed to be doing in your path. All right, here we go.
SATCOM radar detected an unidentified object entering Earth's atmosphere, losing contact with it 2.5 miles off the coast of Rockwell. Some assumed it was a large meteor or a downed satellite, but my office in Washington received a call from someone who reported an actual encounter with the object. This is no meteor, gentlemen. This is something much more serious.
Is Superman. Sure, he's famous now, but he started off just like you. Crash landed on Earth, didn't know what he was doing.
1010 just passed, a powerful number for the Necronomicon. As you just heard him say, he started out just like you. Crash landed on Earth, didn't know what he was doing. We don't really know what we doing because we damn near we bumped our heads. So we bumped our heads, and then somebody can tell you to be a Superman, which using your superpowers when you have extreme proportions of melanin. A lot of other animals, because all people, animals, plants, living things have melanin. They just have different names for it, but they do everything. White people have melanin. All they like have small counts of melanin, but it's all about how you can use it. So with this, he was saying how Superman came from another planet, just like they say Nibiru or Neb Heru, which is the Earth, and Heru or Cthulhu in the Necronomicon mythos. So you can say he was saying how he got here. He uses powers for good. So they'll use our powers like becoming something very minuscule, but to us it's so big because we got a title, a job, having a position in a job, or being a manager. That's using your skills. Like that's why they usually have women as managers because they're the original managers, our melanated women. So when they use them for that job or that manager position, they're using their powers to an extreme extent. The more hours or whatever, or however much they're thinking about that job, their powers can't be used to their full potential. Only for that job, not for anything else. You damn near will be tired by the time you get home.
Here, this guy is Superman. Sure, he's famous now, but he started off just like you. Crash landed on Earth, didn't know what he was doing, but he only uses his powers for good, never for evil. Remember that. Oh, that's Tom of the Metal Menace. He's not the hero, he's the villain. He's not like you. You're a good guy. Like Superman.
You see that? He's not. He's a villain or a menace. Like you would say, like somebody that speaks up for themselves, like a Kanye West. They do all these mental things with him. He would say he's in a sunken place. That's why he to the point he's fighting. He's really fighting very hard right now, and people just be like, oh, you know, oh, he's all out of it. 13 just passed. He's all out of it. He don't know what he with Trump and all of them and all of that and all of this and that. You gotta remember when he was about the album. The Jesus album was talking about Jesus. When he kept saying Jesus, it just sounds so forced and so weird. He kept saying Jesus and Jesus. I don't even prescribe to that person. That thing has no power over me or around me. I construct, I generate, operate, and destroy anything around me that I choose. So that name has no power over me or in me. So yeah, think about it when he was saying how this is he's a villain. So Kanye, he was, and if you watch it now, you can watch the video, the music video, Power. No one man should have all that power. The music video he put out is on YouTube. So usually everything I be saying, things in this matrix gets changed. So I'm not gonna put a link up. So if I play the video, if I put the video up and you watching this video, go watch the video with Power by Kanye West. He has Greek mythology, which is black, the Etruscan, melanated people, the Etruscan people, the original name for the Greeks. They had kinky hair, coily hair. He had Egyptian mythology too in that music video. He had a lot of mythology. So why would he just be campaigning Jesus so heavy? Only because they have ways to mess with the people's mind. Now I'm gonna show you this real quick. Okay, here's a movie I've seen before years ago, and I actually ended up getting it again because I didn't had a lot. I ended up losing the movie. But this is a movie called The Men Who Stare at Goats. It's a military film. Okay, uh, no goats, no glory. The goat. You gotta think about a goat, sheep, lamb. It's the same. Them are the same thing. So when you look at Set or the Baphomet, it's a goat, right? Peep it. Reminiscent of the Coen brothers at their most unhinged. I'm going to read you partial of this movie, what it's about. In this comedic look at a real life events that are almost too bizarre to believe. That's why they put Jim Carrey, all these comedians, they all put truth in comedic films in order to be like, oh, this is so bizarre. I can't believe any of this. Yeah, bizarre to believe, right? But I got something for that ass, and I got some information. I got literature to back up what I'm talking about. Okay, let me show you. Okay, reporter Bob Wilton discovers an experiment top secret wing of the U.S. military called the New Earth Army, trained to change the ways wars are fought through New Age psychic power. Right, right. Movies are just entertainment, right? Peep it. In search of this next big story, Wilton tracks down Lynn Cassidy, a shadowy figure who claims to be a member of this legion of warrior monks with unparalleled psychic powers who can read the enemy's thoughts, pass through walls, and even kill a goat simply by startling. Hold on, let me see what it says exactly. I want to make sure I get the right word. By staring at it. Okay, it was unfocused. So you can see it too. Making sure I'm not just tripping. Okay, by staring at it. See, the movie's called The Men Who Stare at Goats. Marshall Fine of the Huffington Post states, Academy Award nominee, Wild Comedy is a delicious and funny trip through the powers of the mind and powers of suggestion. Inspired by John Rodson's non-fiction, as means it's real, bestseller of the same name. This is an eye-opening and hilarious story of the government's attempts to harness soldiers' paranormal abilities in order to combat its enemies. Also stars, certain people, Kevin Bacon and Jeff Bridges. All right. I'm gonna give you some. I'm gonna get back to the part of the movie I'm talking about, but I'm gonna show you something in the book.
And you think about things, and that means you have a soul. And souls don't die. Mom says it's something inside of all good things, and that it goes on forever and ever. I should call someone. No, don't panic. People always wig out and start shooting when they see something big like you. Call someone. No, don't panic. People always wig out and start shooting when they see something big like you. Wig out. It means crazy. You know, like, No, don't do that. That's the kind of stuff that makes them shoot at you.
2 nights ago.
So, where are you from? You came from the sky, right? From up there? Don't you remember anything? Maybe it's that bump on your head.
You see that? It's a dent in his head. I'm gonna show you something else. That'll be the end of the video very soon. You bump your head. Remember I said at the early beginning of the video, we bump our heads and forget what we're supposed to be doing.
Talk? You know, words, blah, 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 like that?
Can't! He only reacts defensively. If you don't shoot, he's harmless. You gotta tell the general.
This is all your fault, beatnik. If you hadn't
Would you
been
shut up and listen?
So, like Bobby Hemmett used to say, when we getting close to extinction, there's things or divine centers inside of us that will come online that would say was that they don't, like we don't even know it's in us, but it's already in us. We'll tap into it when we feel like we're getting wiped out. Certain centers in our mind, and it'll go through the nervous system and correlate to the brain, the brain to the body. The brain is just a muscle, just like the body has muscles in it. So when the mind said, "Hey, we about to come to a close or extinction," that's when you start finding attributes about yourself that really you didn't know about, that really changes the game inside you, and also, but it also does it around you too. When does it around you, that's when you really start to see the changes in destruction, because you can't really see the inside, but you can feel it. But nobody else can see it until it's manifested out in the physical.
It's still alive!
Shoot at it!
Still alive!
Shoot at it!
Now you just saw that bump on his head, and we forget everything. So see his eyes. He's things are coming online, the things that he didn't know, or it coming online, the things that it didn't know. It was really privy to, or could actually do. 22, my aunt, Aaliyah was 22 years old when she passed. Um, Aaliyah played in the movie, acted in a movie called Queen of the Damned, and that movie came out February 22nd. I got a video dealing with that, how there was a lot of things going on around February 22nd to where they had people's minds everywhere else outside of where they supposed to have it. But yeah, so digging into those dates, and someone else brought up to me one time in a video, and showed me that one of her singles or one of her albums came out on February 22nd, years prior to that movie being released, because the movie was released after she had passed from a physical body that we know of. So the movie was released on February 22nd, and one of her singles or albums, somebody had brought to my attention and showed me that. So they know who she was in correlation to her coming to this physical body. So, but yeah, the answers be giving me things, and I'll make sure I get it out to the people the right way. Now you see the crisis and the look on his face before he was talking about shooting. So now we don't even know our actual power. Imagine like you saw that dent went out of his head, or out of its head, when it figured out what it was supposed to do, destroy. It was only sent here to destroy this motherfucker, just like we're sent here to destroy this motherfucker. We came from the darkness, and the darkness is Tiamat, or actual chaos. So in order for us to destroy the light, we have to destroy what's around us, which is what? The illusion. And illusion is what? Something that came after what was greater or what was here before. All right? The movie is called The Iron Giant. Make sure you can see it in the light. The Iron Giant. But as you can see right here, that's the crescent moon, but that's also that lump, or that bump on his head that he had, and so, or it had. So when it lost that bump, once it figured out, oh, I'm supposed to fuck this shit up, all right, and you know what I'm saying, only fucked it up out of out of cause for someone dying. So haphazardly, he was on the wrong path due to something happening, him meeting the little boy. But he was sent back. It was sent back here to cause chaos and destruction. Just like us highly melanated people, we're here to cause destruction and end this third dimensional plane and end this. But that isn't a lot of people's goals. So that's why when you saw all the weapons coming out of his arms at the end of the actual video I was showing, the weapons were coming out and all kind of things was happening so he can made that tank disappear out of thin air, disintegrated it out of particle. Particle is what? Atoms. Atoms and Eve. Um, Adam and Eve is what? Energy and actual atoms inside, or energy in actual power or formulation of power in a physical body. So Adam and Eve is just when you put the melanated, highly melanated woman and highly melanated man together. Um, Shakti in the Indian mythology, Shakti when they get it on, Kali and Shiva when they get it on, they do the cosmic dance. They dance as in like dancing on the dance floor. They dance in the bedroom, and the bedroom is where you have most all your power, and that's why all the men are in jail, and the women, the melanated women outnumber us 12-1 because it's not matching up. But they don't realize the power of what they doing. And people that's putting people in jail and killing people, they don't realize what they doing. We'll build on that in another video, but I want to end it right here. All right, Ashe to the ancestors. Peace.